jug, and that's fits in here nice. And this 5 gallons will last you for a long time. So no matter, even if you buy the stuff in 55-gallon drums, save this and refill it out of your drum. Air hose and 50 foot of water hose, meaning they got Chicago fittings on both ends. One for air, one for water. And then we send, these are 50s, and then we send 75 foot of foam hose, which will have a female connection on both sides, so you can hook it up any way you want. That's about the max you want to try to put your foam through, or it'll start going back down. These are Chicago fittings, water, and then this is air. I can get this undone. This is the air hookup. We test with just a small line because you don't need that many CFM. Put this little baby on there, however we got it set up. Turn on the water. Now you're ready to go to these two valves right here. If you open this water valve quickly, and it's all open, this water meter right here is going to slam up and get stuck at the top. You don't want to do that. Try not to. The easiest way to do that is to turn this throttling valve all the way off before you turn your water on. Then you can turn your water on. When you turn your water on, you can see what your pressure is. A lot of times 10-story triple rooms or something like that might have inadequate water supply. You want to try to have at least 50 or 60 psi. We have 60. We can adjust it with a water regulator up or down. If you have, say, 150 psi, you don't want it that high. You want to bring it down to 60. Same thing with the air. You always want your air a little bit more than your water. So this, once we turn on the air, we can adjust this here. We like to keep it right around 40, a little bit less than 40. It's not going to pull very many CFM. But now you got your water and your air hooked up. One of the things you want to do, come on this side, you can see this little black valve on this pump. It goes quarter turn. If you turn it a quarter turn, it sort of comes out, pulls out a little bit. That's prime. Turn it another quarter turn, it'll pop back in. That's pump. What we want to do is we want to try to prime the pump, so we're going to turn it out a quarter of a turn. There's a little bypass that comes out the side here. Then we can turn it on here. The small knob is a percentage from off to on, and all the way around is 100% speed of the pump. Right now we'll just set it for 90. This was already primed, so you can see it coming out. Now what it's doing right now is it's just bypassing. While I got you here, this is the stroke length of this little piston. We usually set it right around 70%. You can turn it up, you can turn it down. I believe these pumps are 4 gallons per hour. So this would be a percentage times percentage. That would give you your usage. You can look at that in a minute. So once we got it primed, take this back so it's pumping. Now it's going to pump up this line. It's going to fill in this, going to fill in this. This is your foamer. Have somebody hold the foam line. You can show Yonku over there. Okay, and then come back to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the air on first. So I have air to here. My little throttling valve is off over here. So I'm going to open this air. Now we got the air going through. Now I want to start the water. So can you come over here? Okay, you can turn this off. Cut that. Yeah, this is where we start the water. This is where we were working before night. Can you see that? Can you see that little white thing in there? Watch as it goes up. Right there. We're going to turn that. To start with, we're going to turn it at about 3 gallons a minute. You can see it over here. Now our air's running at about 30 psi. Our water's running at about 50. Good light. Now look at the foam. Go ahead and show that. That foam is too dry. It's just a little bit. We want it to run down and bring the dirt down. So what I'm going to do is I can turn up the air, or turn up the water a little bit. Make it wetter. Okay. And that's about what you're looking for right there. And we can change that. We can try to make it go a little bit higher by adding more air. We can add more chemical. We can add less chemical, and we can add more water. But for general cleaning, I think that's about where it needs to be. So I'm going to turn down the water. A little bit too wet now. It's too wet. I'm going to turn down the water just a little bit. Okay, turn it back down to about 3.5. Okay, now that's better. See how it changes the salt. And then when you want to shut everything down, when we do it, we shut off the water first and let the air line sort of blow it all out. Turn off the chemical pump. And then what we do is we turn off the inlet. Let the water pressure bleed out of here. Turn this back off. So we should be able to open this without getting wet. Turn off the air. Disconnect it. And if you want, if you're freezing temperatures, you can take your air. Don't let it go in all at once though, because you only want a little bit. Crack this valve just a little bit. You crack this valve just a little bit. Watch your flow rate, that you don't beat your meter to death. You can blow out the water. Run that for a little while. Then if you're really putting it away for the winter, you should take your little chemical pump and pump some antifreeze into it. Just take a little cup of antifreeze or something like that and reprime it so that you see antifreeze coming up into here.